Hey, welcome back to the channel, and this is my preview of South Africa versus England in the World Cup semi-final. Before I start going through the teams, it seems like Rassie has reverted to standard procedure, standard protocol, and is announcing the teams like 24 hours before the match kicks off. It just seems like from outside perspective that he's really enjoying himself. And he's had a lot of plaudits over the last like 7 days or whatever since the quarterfinal, and it's kind of strange to see that he's getting a lot of positive press for the way he approaches the game and the way he always tries to introduce new things. So like just before we start, I think that's great because he has been a kind of innovator, particularly with this South African team, and it's proved to be successful, and they're in the semi-final now. As is the case with both semi-finals, New Zealand and Argentina, and South Africa and England. England and Argentina's greatest ally is complacency. So that is something that you can't put your finger on and can win or lose the game for New Zealand and South Africa. However, I will say that I think Rassie is well aware of this and will prepare the team appropriately. But that is always going to be at the back of everyone's mind, I think, going into this game. New Zealand, Argentina, and South Africa, England, they are both huge favourites. And are they going to let that get to their head, and are they going to become complacent? I don't think so, but again, it has to be said because it is a factor in this game. So Rassie and Ninaba, Jack, they've picked the same team as started last week against the fantastic win against the French. And I will say that they haven't picked the same team for like 2 years, probably. I'm not sure what the stat is, but it would be hard to find, I think, an unchanged starting 23, from one game to the other. And I think that he's just proving a point there. Is like, this is the point that he's been, this is that the team, the coaching staff have been working toward for this whole period of time since the last World Cup. So on to the teams, and let's see if we can identify some matchups that are going to be key in this game. So in the front rows, I wouldn't say evenly matched, but there's a lot of veterans on the English side, and they might be able to hold out the scrum set piece power of the South Africans. You got Kitsoff, Nambi, and Malherbe, and Marler, George, and Cole for England. So they have a chance to hold out. They are veterans. They know how to scrummage, that's for certain. But we'll see how it goes. I think scrum penalties might be significant. So they're going to have to play to the ref, definitely. And what do they say these days? Present him with some good pictures early on. In the second row, you got Moster and Eben. And then you've got Itoje and George Martin. George Martin is a big lump, but he hasn't played a lot of rugby. That might serve him well, actually. But it'll be interesting to see how he goes. They're certainly throwing him into the cauldron. Early on is going to be fireworks, I think, between the two front fives. Itoje and Etzebeth, probably more on Itoje's side than Etzebeth's side, but it's going to be interesting. So into the back rows, and again, the back row competition in the quarterfinals was fantastic, and I think it's going to be the same in the semis. You got Colise as captain, and Steph Toy, and Vermeulen retains his place, which is fantastic, against Laws, Curry, and Earl. Now Earl is having a fantastic tournament. Stats wise, he's very, very much up there, but he is a passion player, and he loves to get up for a big game. So, and I think this will probably be, not probably, without doubt, be the biggest game he's ever played in. So it's going to be interesting to see how he turns up, particularly against such a ferocious back row as the South Africans have. So far in the pack, South Africa obviously have the advantage. They have the experience. So England are going to have to play at the very edge of their capabilities to even keep up with them. Can they do it? Of course. Line out and scrum probably are going to be a significant aspect of this match. As for the halfbacks, you've got Reinach and Libok, unchanged from the last match. It's a pretty good combination, a lot of pace there, a lot of variation. Mitchell and Farrell, not so much really, so England might struggle there. Farrell doesn't really have, although he can produce a good performance on his day, he doesn't really have a variation in his game. I think Libok was taken off early. You looked a little bit upset about it at the time, but I think it was more of a good job than you've done a bad job. So those big bombs and his ability to pass his way out of trouble, and he's got good feet and he's got pace. And yeah, he's done very well really over this last little cycle of 1 to 2 years to like really cement his place in this team. So, you know, again, the advantage is with South Africa. In the centres, you've got Dialende and Kriel, who played absolutely fantastically, and I picked them out in my review of the match against France as being kind of one of the key components as to why South Africa won that match. And they are against Manu Tuilagi and Joe Marchant. And I do really like Joe Marchant. I think he's a fantastic player, and I'm glad to see he got over for a try against Fiji. But yeah, Allende and Kriel, I mean, this is maybe somewhere where England actually can get parity or even get a little bit of dominance, depending on which Manu Tuilagi turns up. People have been touting him, but like his best years are well behind him. He's still capable of one big game, though, I think, and there's a lot of experience on both sides. But let's see how it goes. I'm going to be very interested to see that. Back three, we have Colby Arendse and Willemse, full of pace, full of guile. Just a very exciting back three, and more than capable of doing the positional work too. And then for England, Daly, Johnny May and Freddie Stewart. Stewart both in to defuse the high bombs. But the thing about South Africa is that they don't attack the fullback with the high bombs. They attack out wide, you know, towards the wing, especially with like drift defenses and things like that. Sometimes you get players out of defense, out of position, so you get like a prop or a second row, as it happened against France, on the wing. And yeah, it's going to take good calling, and yeah, it's good. Freddie Stewart is going to have to like absolutely boss it, and although he's an absolutely fantastic player, I love him going forward and in defence, but I'm not sure he has the character of the force to impose his will on the defenders there. So again, South Africa got a lot of change out of that cross-field bomb against France, and they could do again. And they're definitely going to try it at least. As for the benches, I won't go into like too much detail, but yeah, again the advantage goes to South Africa, because Snyman, RG Snyman and Kwagga Smith on there, you got Faf on there, you got Pollard, Willie Leroux, and again looking to bring the closers on. And I think, like, I know Razi takes a lot of inspiration from other sports, and I think he definitely has with this idea of these are the players that are going to close out the game for him. And yeah, you just don't see that on the England bench. It seems like for like again. And yeah, I think they could definitely get a bit of an advantage there. As for matchups, 13 players from each starting day 23 were involved in the last World Cup final. So 13 players were involved. 8 start for England and 5 start for South Africa. So that tells you a little bit, doesn't tell you the whole story, but it tells you that there's going to be a little bit of bite to this game, definitely. England got, I wouldn't say humiliated, but humbled, definitely after that victory against the All Blacks in the semi-final in Japan. South Africa, they've brought in probably more young players, Borthwick has started to try and do a little bit more than Eddie Jones did, but South Africa definitely developed their squad more than England in the last 4 years. But South Africa had the wisdom to actually keep in the experienced players, which is invaluable, particularly in knockout tournaments. And let's be honest, people only really remember World Cup results when it comes down to it, the brass tacks. So as for my predictions, I think the centre battle will be really key. England actually, man for man, have like a reasonable chance to get something out of that. I think they're going to miss Marcus Smith, even coming off the bench. Like, he's just not there. I know he's injured, but they're going to miss him. They're not going to be able to add really anything extra as the game goes on. So if they're not doing too well, they haven't really got anyone on the bench to ignite something. They've just got players to like close out the game. Of course, the forward contest is going to be huge. I think, though, that South Africa have the advantage in almost every department, if not every department, and they're massive favourites for this match, and rightfully so, you know. But as I say, the biggest ally to the teams in this semi-final part of the World Cup is going to be complacency. But I can't see Rassie and Jack letting the team become complacent. So it's going to be a tough day for England. If they can manage to get to the edge and to play at their maximum potential, they could make it close. You know, I'm talking like one score, you know. But I can't really see it. They're going to have lulls in their performances, as they've had so far in this World Cup campaign. And I see being 2 scores. So let's say 14 points to the South Africans. If England are really, really up for it and they play to their maximum potential, it's going to be under 7. So it'll be like 5 points. But that's a big ask from England. I hope they do it, because you want to see rugby teams, and particularly like players like the veterans in the front row, Marla and Cole, you want to see them go out with a bang, you know. So I hope they have a good game. But South Africa are like overwhelming favourites, you know, and it's crazy to say against England, but they are one of their biggest rivals. I think New Zealand probably South Africa's biggest rival, but England are like second. If I'm wrong, please correct me in the comments. But yeah, looking forward to the game. I'm gonna watch it definitely live, and yeah, I'll let you know what I think after the match. So if you've made it this far, thank you very much. Please like, subscribe, all that other good stuff, share it, and I'll see you for the the reviews sometime soon. All right, bye bye.